guys, welcome to the video. I wanted to share with you guys an article that I wrote on Medium that I'm going to be linking down below. I would very much thank you if you could support me by checking it out or even sharing. That way someone else can check it out. So what it is pretty much how I use Sass uh, and how I've started to use Sass to make my projects a lot quicker than I used to. So pretty much what Sass does is it'll help you rewrite over and over the same little repetitive CSS that you do over and over by creating mixins. You pretty much define a mixin and define the properties that you want inside of the mixin, and you just call them over and over by assigning them to the elements that you need. Another cool thing that Sass does, it's a preprocessor, so think of it like PHP to the back end of your CSS, where you can actually script CSS. And what it does is when it scripts it or when it writes it, it'll compress it into one single line, like for example into a style.min.css, which will help the browser when the page is loaded. That way everything gets limited to one call and one CPU process, which is really, really nice. And that's the reason why I recommend and why I started to use Sass, because I think that's really cool how you can optimize that way. And then you can also use it to separate your colors, your components, your layouts, and all those different kinds of things, and then just take it, plug and play into a different project, which is really, really cool. For example, what I do is I make one file, and then I inside that file call the others, like variables, helpers, grid, and responsive, which are the other files, the additional files I named with the underscore, so it can find them, right? So we have grid, helpers, so I'm calling the files that I need for that specific project if I were to need them. And then what I do is I compress it in the end into one single line. That way, when you call it in the browser, it will be limited to one single line, which is really, really nice. It also helps you nest within items, which is really, really, really cool. So here I define, for example, a mixin where in my .scss file, so you define a mixin like this by naming it here whatever you want. For instance, I call this one flex because it contains flex items. So every time I want to rewrite this, for instance, in an element, instead of rewriting it line by line, all I do is include the mixin. So here I'm including the mixin right with flex, which will include this and give it all these properties right inside of here. So it's really cool if you end up using this over and over, because then you don't have to repeat yourself, which is really, really nice. Another thing that you can do as you learn to play with it more and more is that you can substitute variables. For instance, if I don't want my flex container to wrap anymore, what I do is declare in here a variable, in here a variable, and then also up here inside of the parentheses. So when I actually call it inside of my element, I can I can substitute here what I need that variable to have. So then I can take out the wrap, or I can put the wrap, whatever I would need that element to do or that container to do. So that's actually something that's really cool. So yeah, those are the cool things that I really enjoy about using in Sass. I really hope that you enjoy this video, and that if you have time, please check out the article where I explain a little bit more how it works, and you can actually get these little snippets if you need them. And yeah, follow me on there and follow me on here. Please don't forget to subscribe so I can keep adding more content like this. Thank you guys for supporting me, and have a good day.